first video attempt, so we're gonna we're trying this again with hopes that the audio will not, we don't know something on the microphone with the Wi-Fi in our house or what. So we're trying this again. Let us know if you run into any issues or not with being able to understand us. Hopefully everyone else watching the first one comes and jumps over here. So
So far, it sounds
sounds good. Okay, she's gonna monitor one headphone here. Hopefully that doesn't be
that can be
confusing for you.
distracting to me.
Well, don't leave it in the entire time. Just hop in and out, and hopefully, yes, let us know in the comments if what's happening and not happening and stuff. So, okay, all right. So we're gonna try this again. All right. I'm not gonna go through all the preamble stuff about what's coming. Jen and Cacie stories tomorrow. Watch it. All right. But otherwise, we're talking about needing a coach. It is doing a lot of buzzing. Let's see if I can put my phone on silent. Hold on a second. Must be popular right now. Okay, now we're good. So we're talking about needing a coach, about having different issues in life that you're trying to overcome and you fail a lot at, but you need somebody who has been down this road before. A good coach is someone who you can look at that has visible success with whatever it is you're dealing with. If you're trying to be a basketball player, hopefully you're choosing a coach who plays basketball or played basketball on some level of success, because that gives you a sense of assurance that, okay, not only do you know how to get to where I'm trying to go because you've been there before or you're there now, but also you've probably gone through a lot of the failures and the trip ups and the slip ups and the pitfalls that I'm going through or will go through on my way to get there. And so you can point me how to avoid those
Yeah,
things.
well, the reason why we need coaches is because they can be objective. Because most of the time, when we're the person dealing with a problem, we're not objective about ourselves.
Yeah.
It's easy to see somebody else's problem and faults, but when it comes to ourselves, we are usually the worst person to analyze our own problems. So we need someone that's going to be objective.
Yeah.
Second, we need someone that can be able to see the flaws you have and the strengths that you have and know how to coordinate them so that you can get the best result in your life.
Exactly.
For instance, we CrossFit and we have coaches, and when we're trying to do a particular movement, our coach would stand back and watch our form, and they would say, okay, you're missing it here when you need to do it this way. Okay, the reason why you couldn't lift it because you weren't engaging your core, or your arms are coming up too quick, or something like that. They can see that, okay, this is the problem, it's whatever, and you need somebody to help you navigate through those different pieces of your life so they can say, okay, do it like this. When my mom was teaching me how to cook, she would stand there and watch and say, okay, add a little bit of that. Okay, stir that for about 5 minutes. Okay, now do it this way. Do it this time. Timing is everything. So you need somebody there to even create a cadence for you. Sometimes, we be jumping the gun too soon. And so coaching is very important because they can be objective and interject what you need to do, when, how to do something in a way that can be successful for you. And it can be customized because a lot of times we'll read a book, we'll watch a television program, you go on YouTube and see something, but for your situation, it might be a little bit different and a little bit tweaky. Even Jalen and Cacie stories. Now, we believe we are teaching the uncompromised truth of God's word. We're talking about marriage principles, but we know everyone's a little bit different. So we get a lot of questions, a lot of people asking us stuff, and they want our advice. But it's like, listen, your scenario might be a little different. So this is why you need to submit to coaching. You need to submit to someone that can help guide you in this area so they can see specifically what your needs are. Because we might take a good idea like marriage principles or even a diet or whatever, but you need someone to help tailor it for your needs. So coaching is very, very important in order to get the maximum benefit out of your life.
Using gym as an example, we were trying to stick to the gym. We did different things. We were going to the gym, stuff like that. But we went to a gym in CrossFit that's really geared around coaching and around community. And so it allowed us to it forced us to throw out our philosophy.
Yeah, it did.
It's very important you hear that part about, we all have a lot of theories based on the way we're raised about how to do everything, including marriage. And what you got to understand is when you're trying to do something you've never done before, 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10, your preconceived notions and ideas of how it should be done is probably wrong. And so you need to hear from somebody who knows what they're doing. And so going to the gym, I've been lifting since I was a teenager, but I learned things that I never knew about lifting. And I
And
was
you were doing
running,
stuff wrong too.
exactly, I was running into issues and problems with like injuries, things like that, or not being able to successfully lift heavier, I felt like maybe I could. And there were certain movements I wanted to do that I just never knew how to do. But with coaching, it ended up not being that difficult, but I just didn't know until a coach who knew exactly what it was and could point out what I was doing wrong says, do this, this, that. And then one day I'm better now. And then all I have to do is take the training and apply it to get the results that I want consistently. So the responsibility is still on me to get the results, but now I know what I'm doing. And so the encouragement for today, and this is a short time we're going to talk about this, is whatever it is that you're endeavoring to do, that you failed at continuously. And it's not necessarily marriage related. Like I said, it could be diets and fitness. It could be trying to quit a vice.
Finances.
Yeah, if I know that.
Careers.
Find someone to submit to. It's the principle of submission. Find a coach, And it's like, well, I don't know anyone near me and I don't know that. Well, the beautiful thing about this is that it doesn't always, for everything, have to be someone that you're one-on-one with. That can be very helpful, and you got to know when you need that. But sometimes you can find somebody on the internet who is teaching something, teaching a course, teaching a series on something, and you can make them their coach because you're going to choose from yourself. I'm going to submit to everything you're saying. I'm going to take notes, and I'm going to do this and put it in practice.
Because when we were struggling with our marriage in the beginning, we sought out help via online, and we came in contact with Marriage Today and EXO Marriage, and we began to investigate everything they offered, and we watched like all the YouTube videos. We bought material from them. We started downloading podcasts, and we started applying the things and doing the homework that they would give out. And that's how we really learned how to communicate and started talking and start doing the homework. And this is how we became who we are today. That's how Jalen and Cacie's stories became to be, because of that one thing right there. So you can find coaching pretty much anywhere. When you are desperate enough, and here's the thing. When you are desperate enough and when you really desire change, you will do any and everything there is. There's no such thing as I've done everything and you're not getting results. No, you're not doing everything. The problem is most of us don't want to do everything. We come in with our own pre-imposed ideas. We already have a limit of how far we're going to go with something. And we have a lot of contingencies in our lives. If she does this or he does this, I'm done. There is no help. I'm out. And that's a wrong idea. If I don't lose 5 pounds in 2 weeks, I'm out. I'm done. If I don't comprehend this information in some time, I'm done. I'm out. We have a limit. We put a limit on how far we're gonna go with stuff, and that has always been a problem. We never finish a process. Me and my husband, we're doing something now together, and it's challenging me because I'm not a very focused person sometimes. I don't know if I noticed that, but it's sometimes hard for me just to stay focused on something, and this is really like slow and monotonous, and it requires me to write stuff down and be in my feelings and in my emotions. It's like, man, this is boring. I don't want to do this. It's just really working. But you know what? I say, no, I can't say I'm gonna finish the process. Finish. Like, get to the end. Stop quitting because it's not something that you're comfortable with, or it goes against what you would naturally gravitate to. But is it going to help me? I'm about to find out. I want to be a person that finishes stuff. And we got to stop putting limits on how far we're going to go with something because it's uncomfortable, or, it's strange and it's not what I normally do, or stuff like that. But when you get tired of being tired, I got tired of being out of shape. I got tired of going to the gym and being bored, not knowing what to do, spending money, not getting results. I got tired. So guess what? We got our butt up and we actually invested. It takes an investment, people. You got to stop wanting to do free 99 for everything. Sometimes it takes a real investment with your dollars, and go spend the money to get the real help that you need, because you can be thankful for it later. And I'm grateful for it. This is the first time I've stuck with something for this long. Haven't quit yet. Don't plan on quitting. And I'm getting results. And I'm feeling better, looking better. Things are happening. But not only that, I can tell that my mental philosophy, my philosophy of health and fitness and everything has changed, because I've submitted to this process. I've submitted to the coaching. And now I'm starting to think like my coaches think.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to understand things, and now I'm being introduced to new things that I would never have been introduced to or had access to if I hadn't submitted to this training. One of those things was chiropractic. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm a big believer in chiropractic care, but I would have never known about that if we hadn't started going to our gym.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big, big, big plus in my fitness journey, in my overall health. And I just didn't know how important it was for me. And now we both, go to chiropractor all the time, and that's something else. I'm not getting into why we do it, but I'm just saying there's so many other things that God will open up into you, other things, avenues you don't even know you need. But until you are willing to submit to that type of intricate training, you would never know.
And you got one thing that's going to really hurt you if you don't do this right is the assumption that you already know a lot.
Yeah.
Because I guess maybe the opposite of coaching is trying to like graze and pick up bits of information to try to take it all in and create your own idea and create your own will. And you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Someone already did it. Just do their program, But we try to get all the information. We get bloated with information that we don't even know how to execute. And so I don't care how much you think you know about health and fitness. If you don't have the results, then you don't know anything. You have no revelation of it that's actually caused a change. So you need to find somebody with a revelation, with results, and submit yourself to them and put aside everything you think you know and submit to that training. And that's what'll keep you from growing and being stuck on this cycle. But oftentimes we won't submit to that training because we're holding on to whatever insecurities come with the baggage of this will. And we don't want to expose ourselves to the fact that, look, I've been trying to lose weight for 10 years and I don't ever gain weight. And we don't want to go to a coach who's going to tell us you've been doing everything wrong. We don't want to hear that. So we try to gather bits and pieces of information from different people and try to work it together ourselves and still never get anywhere. And so at some point, you just got to say, hey, I'm dumb. I don't know anything about this. I'm going to pretend like I've never even ever been in the gym before. And I'm going to start from scratch. And then you'll start getting results. And depending on what it is, I'll say this. The way I think you're doing something good is it's not so much the results are immediate, but the effects on you. There's something immediate that happens after just a few days of doing this thing that's like, okay, something's different. I'm changing inside before even outside changes.
But you got to come with a submitted heart, though.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about in our next Jalen, Cacie. We're talking about submission tomorrow from, a male perspective, pre-marriage. But submission is key to everything in your life. You got to come with a submitted mentality when you do anything new that's going to challenge your growth and your development. You got to come in being willing to just submit to it all, no matter how uncomfortable it makes me. Because apparently you don't know what you think you know because you don't have a happy marriage. You haven't done it all. You don't have a happy home. You don't have the career you want. You don't have the body you want. You don't have the money you want. Whatever it is that you're lacking in, you don't have it. So stop making up these new rules and stop just accepting, well, that's just the way my life is or whatever. No, just say, I don't know what I'm doing. And then just be honest. For some people, maybe you're not ready to submit.
Yeah. You gotta admit that too.
Maybe you're not ready to submit to it. Maybe you think you're okay the way you are. Okay, that's fine. But don't get in the way with somebody else's development. And don't rewrite the rules just because you're not ready to follow them. Okay? Marriage works 100% of the time when we do it God's way. It just does. It's working for us. It's working. Fitness works. Healthy eating works when you're ready to do it the right way. Financial freedom is possible when you're ready to do it God's way and you're ready to do it the right way. It is possible. There are people who are living it, but they're doing it. They're doing the work. It's not a magic potion. It's not a fairy tale idea. It's not something that happened by osmosis because you watch a lot of stuff. It requires applying, doing the work. Yeah. It's hard sometimes getting up and wanting to go to the gym. I'm tired. I have a 19-month-old. I feel like I've already been to the gym. I don't want to have to do this, but once I get there, it's like, I thank God that I got here. I did it. And now the results are happening. I can't take it back. It's done now. Cause and effect. It's happening now. But if you never, ever push past the uncomfortable that you have, you're never going to get anything in life.
Exactly. And you can't pass up opportunities too. Sometimes We're just waiting. I wait till I'm ready. And you be praying about it and wanting deliverance in the area. When opportunity presents itself, don't pass it up. I would do that a lot. I'll pass opportunities because it didn't look the way I thought it should look, or come in a package I thought it should come in, or I didn't feel like I was ready to offer that level of commitment yet. I remember there was a challenge at our gym that the whole gym was doing, and it was voluntary. Like, not everybody was going to do it, but it was like a healthy eating challenge.
Mhm.
And I was about to not do it because I was like, yeah, I just don't think I have all the focus right now for that. It's probably gonna be kind of difficult. And it costs money, like an extra bit of money to do. It wasn't much money. It's like less than $50,
It don't
whatever it
matter
was.
though.
But
It was just
it was just, I think I'm not gonna do it. And then the Lord kind of mentioned to me, he's like, you're this is something in life that you want to know more about, healthy eating. You're pretty good on the fitness side, but you want to know more about healthy eating and something that you want to tackle at some point in life. Why are you passing up this opportunity? It's being presented to you. You don't have to search it out or nothing like that. It's being brought to you for minimal investment. All you gotta do is sign up for it and listen and then participate. And I was like, that's a good point. So sometimes we're trying to plan out and control everything.
yeah.
Take an opportunity when it arises and go for it, because it may just be the trick you need. It may be God answering your prayers.
Don't complain when your life isn't what you think it ought to be,
Mhm.
and you're not willing to do the work. And this is not about. And because we marriage people talk about marriage, and a lot of times it's, well, my spouse don't want to do the work. Whatever, you can do work. Don't complain about anything in your life that's not doing right, that's not going right, when you're not willing to do all the work. And there's really no such thing as I've done it all. I've said it before, I'm gonna say it again. You have not done everything if you're still getting a negative result in your life. There is nothing in life that cannot be resolved, that cannot be redeemed, that cannot be restored. It really all depends on you and your mindset and your willingness to do the work. Some people have given up hope for their marriage because they're like, I've done everything. Well, that's kind of the problem. You've done everything.
Yeah.
That's the problem right there. You're trying to do it. You're trying to do it in your own intellect. You're trying to do it, or this is how my mom and dad did, or this is how so-and-so did, or whatever, or you just get so frustrated. You have not done it. Okay? You have yet to surrender your way and start doing it God's way. And even for the believer, some people think, well, I'm born again, I'm saved, I go to church. That don't make you a good candidate for marriage, or you know what you're doing because you're saved. We were saved, but we had no knowledge on how to communicate with one another whatsoever. We both could talk. We both could talk well, but we had no knowledge on how to communicate the right way so we can get results in our marriage. And so we had to submit and we had to learn.
Yeah.
And that took surrender, that took submission on both our parts. And now here we are today. And we still have things to grow in. But now we have the tools. We know what to do. Just like in the gym, we now have the tools. We have the information. We know what to do now. Now we want an eating plan. We know what to do now. Now we got to do just implement it and be consistent. Be consistent. Be consistent. Be consistent. Be consistent. Be consistent. How long does it take? Be consistent. Be consistent. See, this is not an end game. There's no end game to this. This is a forever.
Mm-hmm.
This is a forever. There is no end game. This is forever. But I will tell you this. One day you're going to walk in your home and you're going to recognize there's peace that we didn't have before. Because oftentimes we encounter stuff, because the stuff still comes against us every day. Mm-hmm. Our marriage is always under scrutiny or under attack from the enemy. But one day we recognize, we're handling this a lot better than we did a couple years ago. That stress that I used to be under when something like this would present itself, I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah.
And that comes from consistently doing the work over and over and over again.
The objective is not to try to resolve all 200,000 of your marriage problems. Mm-hmm. The objective is to find out how to resolve marriage problems, so you can tackle them one by one. Because they're always going to continue to come, because you're going to go through different stages of life. I think you got to have some common sense here. You marry someone, but they're not going to be the same person in 10 years. So although you may know how to talk to them on this level about this topic now, it's going to change in 10 years. Y'all set up, all right, this is how we're going to organize our household. Well, 5 kids later and 2 jobs later, the same divvying up of responsibility is going to be vastly different. You can't hold it to that. So now you got a whole new set of issues to deal with. But if you've got the core principles of how to communicate, how to talk, how to keep and restore intimacy, then you can resolve every issue as they come. We have different videos about different topics. We got topics about communication, topics about oneness, topics about submission. And so it's not like, hey, we figured out the answer to this issue and now we don't have a problem anymore. No, whatever it is, the principle that we're teaching is we've discovered the principle and now we can apply that to every time that issue crops up in our lives, because these issues never stop.
Right.
And so if you're lacking anything, it's the wisdom of God to understand, how do I tackle this issue? And so long as you seek out the wisdom and you're always receiving the wisdom, you may not always have the answers when the problem first arises, but you know how to get them.
Because 1 + 1 is always going to equal 1.
2.
Oh, 2. Wow, I was so confident about that too. I was so confident about that. Oh my God. 1 + 1 is 2. Y'all, math is not my strong suit. But I should know 1 + 1. Wow.
You said you're tired.
I am tired. That's my excuse. 1 + I was so confident that that's the thing that's funny. Anyway.
1 times 1 equals 1.
Okay. 1 + 1 will always equal 2.
Yeah.
No matter what scenario you find that equation in, it's always going to equal 2. Okay. So it don't matter if it's 1 bottle of juice and 1 bottle of milk is going to equal 2. Like, you just gotta.
Well, that's the whole principle of math.
Yeah.
When you're young, like not everybody likes math, but hopefully if you were taught math correctly, they taught you stuff as you got older, and then suddenly you got to algebra, and it's like, this freaks me out, all these letters and stuff. But the principles that they taught you when you was in 1st and 3rd grade are the same. You're stacking new knowledge on top of that, but it's still the same principles. End of the day, all math at the end of the day is still addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. That's why they drill those multiplication tables into you. Because if you could get that, then you understand it. But if you fail to learn those principles, then yeah, you're not going to get algebra. You're not. But one thing I realized when I was in algebra was that they gave you these equations, and they would teach us these equations, and then they would say, okay, now solve this problem. And this problem would be crazy numbers everywhere. But as long as you remember that equation and the way that it worked, you could solve any problem. And so that's what you need in marriage and losing weight and kicking advice. You need the equation. You just need to know, how do I plug and play this principle into this issue? Because the issue looks big, it looks hard, it's really not. The same principle applies. I just need to apply it to this issue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why having a coach is good, because they've been through all that already. And they can point out when you're making mistakes. They can say, hey, this is why you're failing.
Because I can tell you, we can be so dramatic when it comes to our stuff. And we keep using the gym, Sometimes we go in there and we be lifting and we doing stuff and just like, oh, I'm so frustrated. Oh, why can't I get this? And my coach was saying about, like, sometimes it's just not that day.
Yeah.
Like, why are you so cool about it? Like, but you'll get it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is, you showed up today. They be like applauding you for, you showed up for yourself today. That's what really mattered. But in your mind, you're like, oh, I got to get this and I'm failing at this or whatever. It's like, no. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, I'll come back the next week and I get it.
Yep.
But it's like, if I didn't have my coach to remind me that this is the progression you have made, this is what you're doing good, keep going. The encouragement is so important. So a lot of times we need a coach just for the encouragement, because we get so balled up in our head about the situation, the problem, we freaking out and we just frustrated, things like that, when we need to just calm down and realize it really isn't that bad. We make everything so dramatic. We live in a world that's so dramatic. We overinflate everything. So what happens, we'll walk away from something good right before we get to that breakthrough, because we make a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah.
That's an old statement, but it really is true.
Mm-hmm.
We make a mountain out of a molehill, something this small, and our head is this big, and it's insurmountable. Like, we can't get over it. We can't conquer this. It's so hard. But with somebody that's already been through this, have objection or objectivity, they can look back and say, girl, boy, chill.
Yep.
This ain't nothing.
Yeah.
You got this. Calm down, breathe. And you realize, okay, I can do this. So before you're ready to throw in a towel, no matter what you're dealing with, whether it's marriage, money, career, family, weight, gain, loss, whatever, before you throw in a towel, challenge yourself to submit to coaching. Just do it. Commit to doing coaching. 30 days. Give yourself 30 days with a coach of any kind. And I promise you will get more results that way.
Yeah.
Than you would try to do it on your own.
Yep.
You really would.
Praise God. I'm gonna wrap up with the information that I started with from the other video, because if this is the second video, the first one the audio was broken. Anybody who's watching right now, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Shout out to everybody. Someone left a comment. I don't know how to say your name, so I'm not gonna say it, but you said my favorites. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. To everybody, as always, let us know what you're watching from and what you're doing this fine Sunday afternoon for us. What time is it where you guys are? But just quick review on some things going on. Hey, Dream Lab, how you doing? Keep saying hi, everybody. Yeah, when you're here, always comment. Just say you're here and like the video as well and share it, on whatever platforms you're on. But yeah, so JCTV is coming back. JCTV is a 24/7 live stream of all the videos on our channels. That is coming back. We're working on it now. We had to rent a server to keep it stable. So I would say in another 1 to 2 weeks, I'll have it ready to go. And that's just our first step to creating our own TV network of just positive Christian content that inspires and educates and entertains. So when that comes back, we'll announce it and we want you guys to tune in always, and we'll premiere new programming on JCTV. Tomorrow, the Jalen and Cacie stories come back. Jalen and Cacie stories is like the flagship of this channel.
Yeah.
That's where most of our views and subscribers came from. You probably got on to us through a Jalen and Cacie story, whether it was why I married a younger man, or becoming one, or how to be single and happy, or learning submission, all that stuff. Hey, Kenya, we have Veronica from Kenya. Thanks for watching, Veronica. We appreciate it. Casey's looking wonderful after the baby.
Yeah.
She is, isn't she?
You're my favorite.
but yeah, so Jalen Cacie story is coming back tomorrow. Tomorrow's episode at 10 a.m. Eastern, we're releasing it. Use a time zone converter to figure out what time that is for you, but it's going to be up there. Is episode about teaching men who are unmarried, who are looking to marry, some principles. We've been teaching women principles. Cacie wrote a book on it. But I want to talk to the men a little bit because it's going to be a lot of fun. And the first principle is learn submission. Yes, man, learn submission. That woman, man, learn submission. It's a pretty good episode. We watched it back and it was a lot of fun to do.
I think I watched it 4 times already.
Yeah, it was really good. One of my favorites. So please tune into that tomorrow. Share it with somebody you love. We have mostly women that is in our audience, but there are some men, so make sure you watch it. And if you got men in your life, send it to them. And even if you're married, even though the video is geared towards single men, we actually did talk to married men quite a bit on that video. So you can still watch it if you're married, or share with your husband. So that's coming tomorrow, April 4th, Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern. We are releasing that video, and we're going to stay pretty consistent with the Jalen and Cacie stories. We also are going to be turning on channel memberships on this channel pretty soon, and with that comes some new content. So we're working on that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned to see how you can support the future of the Jalen and Cacie network. But that's it. Yeah. So we just want to talk a little bit about that. Coaching is big. I will say this because we get asked every now and then, Jalen and Cacie, do you do any counseling? Well, first off, we're not licensed counselors, so no, we don't do counseling. Well, Jalen and Cacie, do you do coaching? Not at the moment.
Let me talk about it. Okay. This what happened. We developed a coaching program, or reached out to you guys and said, hey, you want coaching? It's like, yeah, because we get a lot of comments, people want answers, stuff like that. Yeah. And so we put it out there. Problem is, people don't typically want to invest in their coaching. They want you to just be available to them, answers. And the one thing about us, we're not going to just throw random answers out there on people. Some people be giving us some like deep questions, or they got some deep issues that they need help with. So we put it up for a small investment, but nobody really took hold of that. So will we do coaching again, one-on-one coaching? I don't know yet. Like, I believe we will at some point down the road. We just don't know just yet when and how. And when we do, it will be an investment, because it's an investment for us, and you should be willing to invest in your marriage or in your relationship. I really would love to do it, to be honest. Yeah. Especially with people who are not married yet, but maybe they're in a relationship, they're engaged or dating or whatever, because I really believe that's where the real coaching needs to happen, is right there in the beginning of a relationship. Of course, marriage would be included in that too, but as to when we re-release that coaching program, we're working on something now in the basement, but we'll let you guys know like we do everything else. Yeah. But thank you for watching. We are now going to go and record another episode of the Jalen and Cacie stories before our Sunday cup. You guys watch next week. But tune in tomorrow, share this video, like it, keep commenting, even though we're not live anymore. Keep commenting and let us know where you're from. Love you guys. See ya.